Okay, now you're good.
Okay, hello, Grow Food Northampton community. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We're starting a few minutes later. Welcome to our live session on Wednesday. Maybe some of you tuned in and then tuned out again because we were a few minutes behind schedule, but I'm Ellena and I'm with Audrey as the camera person, and we are here at the Giving Garden. And well, I guess maybe you could put this as my backdrop. So we've been working a lot. Well, before I even start, I want to say that we took a little break to keep up with the speed and the amount of work that we've had for the last few weeks. So we've been harvesting and delivering hundreds of pounds of food for the last 2 weeks to Starlight Center and Mana Community Kitchen and Northampton Survival Center and East Hampton Community Center and CSO, all in Northampton, and East Hampton. So so far we've donated, I think, over 4,500 pounds of food, maybe close to 5,000, and and that's about 25 different crops that we've had. And before I get into my little topic for today, I wanted to say a little land acknowledgement on this day. We are stewarding and working on the land that was once Nonotuck and Pecumtuck land that was stewarded by the native people here in the Connecticut River Valley for over thousands of years, and they grew. So Nonotuck or Nawatuk was the name for Northampton. Like the middle of the river is from my understanding of what the name is, and that was where a meeting point for a lot of different villages and communities and native communities to gather and have meetings and hold councils. And the Pecumtuck people were also here, and other villages and other small tribes. So they grew corn, beans, and squash, and many other varieties of other vegetables, and like many varieties of all of those vegetables too. And when we talk about the tomatoes later, we'll get into I grow a bunch of different varieties of tomatoes too. So we're trying to keep the varieties alive and well. So here we are at our cover crop station that I wanted to talk about. If you remember from past episodes, we had all of this covered with tarp because we grew a beautiful stand of winter rye. It was probably, it was taller than us, and we crimped it. We did a process of crimping. Audrey was there. I can't remember who did it on the Facebook Live. Oh no, me and Melissa did it. And we crimped it, and then we tarped it so that it could decompose under the tarp. And now we've uncovered the tarp, and our beautiful winter rye looks so golden brown, like a beautiful straw. And I've seeded cover crops, oats and peas and tillage radish, and I'm using this earthway seeder. This earthway seeder has different plates in it that are different sizes, so you can change the plate and trying to take it out. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to take out. Well, you can see. Here's our plate for the peas. And there's different plates, and then the seed goes right into these holes and then lays down in rows. And so I actually did this whole series of 10 beds just now, which means that I'm a little bit dizzy because we were just talking about how many times you have to go back and forth. I go about 3 times with the oats, and then I go 5 times with the peas, because that's kind of like the ratio that you might want. Maybe 60-40 for peas to oats, or 70-30. And the peas help with nitrogen, the oats help with stabilization and providing organic, providing biomass that will then contribute to the organic matter of the soil. And these 10 beds are going to be amazingly refreshed and nutrient dense by the time next spring comes around, and we're going to plant our transplant in it. So, to grow our annual vegetables. So this year, these beds are sort of fallow or cover cropping for nutrient regrowth and stabilizing these beds. So yeah, so I could do let me do a demo with the oat. So even though I've already done it like 70 times, I will still. So you go down the bed and you walk and it drops the seed and then it covers it for you. So you can just walk in the pathways. And then you turn around and go back the other way. And when all the little oats come up, you'll see how straight your lines were. Sometimes my lines are not. They're a little crooked, which just adds a little character to it. And yeah, what else? Well, so all of this rye was growing in the beds, and then we raked it to the side. We raked it all into the pathways, and that was that was like a little bit of a process to rake it into the path. So then we could add compost, and then I could sow the cover crop, and now we're giving it really special treatment. So that's about our cover crop situation and how we took off the tarp off of this. And then we want to come over here to the tomatoes. And as you can see, we also have removed our summer squash because we were getting to the end of those plantings, and it was about time because our fruits were looking a little bit blemished and sort of misshapen, and the yield was decreasing a lot, right? Yeah. So it was a little bit like it was better for us to remove the plant so then we can plant our next planting in it. All right. So our tomato jungle, which we've been pruning the suckers for this whole season, and we've been trimming the bottom branches off, and we've been pruning it most of the time to 1 liter per tomato plant. And I know that the plants look a little bit, because all of our plants right now are combating all of the various diseases that are in the air. And so we are, but we're really grateful because they look the fruits have been looking really good. And so far we've gotten, I don't know, probably over 500 pounds of tomatoes, with many more to come. I know that Lee at Manna Community Kitchen, he's been making like sauces, and he also made a tomato basil salad like for one of the meals at the kitchen last week. And so here we have 6 different varieties of tomatoes. Here's the new. Good. Okay. Hello everybody. Sorry about that. I guess this is just a technical difficulties kind of day. I just wanted to continue what I was saying about tomatoes because they're very special, and now they're August. What day is it today? August 12th?
Yeah.
And it's it's just the height of tomato season. And I was talking about how these determinants, we really don't have to prune much. We did have to take away some of the bottom branches and make sure they didn't get too bushy so that we could harvest the tomatoes, but they're much more compact. And then our indeterminants are just vines that go everywhere, but they're very prolific, and they're ripe earlier, and they're blight resistant, and so toss up which one you like better. This one is definitely more work, but these ones might not be as prolific because they might not produce as long of the season because the new girls just keep ripening over the season. And yeah, maybe I'll just show you, well, you see how bushy our cherry tomatoes are. And we have a lot, these are cherry bombs. We just harvested them today, so there's not a lot of ready ones, but we have cherry bombs, and we also have sun golds, which are definitely a favorite with the people that we deliver to. And also one of my favorites of the year is definitely this one. It's called Damsel, and it's kind of closest to an heirloom, but it's still blight resistant. It's a pink color, and it's just so beautiful. This one, it has a really beautiful flavor too. And sometimes you really sacrifice the flavor when you go for all of the blight resistance. And so I try to pick the ones where I get the most flavor, and they're still hybrids that have resistance to various diseases, because we want to be able to produce fruit for our community partners, and we don't want them to split or kind of go bad right away. So that's why we go for that. And so it's always a mix of trying to find the best flavor and the most resistant to disease. And also, by keeping them on the landscape fabric, which is how we do it, we definitely help with the resistance to disease, because they're not touching the soil when it rains. And we work with drip irrigation, and they all get water from drip irrigation, but not recently, because we've had enough rain, and they can survive this heat. I don't know if we can, but they can. So thank you for watching. And also, I could just show you this tarp, because we're right here, and we're trying out, so there's occultation and there's solarization. And occultation is when you use black tarps, like the tarp behind you, Audrey, right there. Yep, so black tarps where we were putting it down over the buckwheat cover crop to smother it and help it decompose. And then there's solarizing, which is a clear tarp that's having the greenhouse effect underneath the tarp, and it's supposed to work faster. So actually, we're trying this for the first time, and we're going to see how fast it goes, maybe like under a week, and then we'll clear it out and plant into it. So we'll see how that goes, and maybe we'll tell you about it next time. And we have a lot more things on the docket to plant the fall crops this week and seed some new fall greens and some beets and different radishes and things like that. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you all for watching, and sorry about the technical difficulties today. I hope you all stay cool today, drink lots of water, and we will too. Okay, bye.